Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartUpTrading.com. It is 9 minutes till 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Election Day 2024. Uh, except for reruns or, taped things that we're going to watch, that should be it for all the election commercials. Finally, I don't know what the TV stations and the news outlets are going to do for revenue. I guess they have to go back to the drug companies. We'll just have to, stay tuned. And keep in mind that we are the only country in the world that allows, you know, pharmaceuticals to advertise as well. So we probably wouldn't even have TV without, pharmaceuticals. As I beat the drum for this, let's go back and look at yesterday's session. Uh, the Russell was the only one that had any inkling of being slightly bullish, but it was just that initial drive up and the initial bounce, and then it just flagged sideways on top of the previous day's value, where all of the other indexes, right, they made overlapping to lower distributions, but modestly so, right? It was just basically a session. But one thing to note, and I've been pointing this out, this thick yellow line I have on here is 57.25. This is the important above or below line in the sand for the ES. And yesterday we, come right down to it, tested it, and popped up. So as we potentially press into this over, the next 24 hours, we'll have to see, if it just gets a reflex up or down, uh, and we'll, get more into some other stuff in a minute. But as we look at what that did to structure from yesterday, the only anomaly that we had was this single print in the Russell that comes out right beneath value area low. So pretty easy read there to see, how the Russell is doing today, and then we'll just have to see, what these rest of the indexes have in store. Keep in mind that a lot of things are going to pivot once the election results are known, and a lot of this won't be known uh, before I talk to you tomorrow morning, probably. So the title of my video, and it just comes down to PA, because from my math, there looks like a 94% correlation to whichever party wins Pennsylvania will be the next president of the United States. So it's almost impossible for either one of them to win when losing Pennsylvania. And to be honest with you, Pennsylvania might be one of the last uh, known states once all the counting comes in. So we that's my guess is what's going to happen first is Powell going to come out Thursday at 2 and say we're dropping rates by a quarter point, or will we know the results of Pennsylvania? So I'm still up in the air on that. I think it's a coin flip. Should be interesting, but I would say we should probably know by the weekend. Looking at what is on deck for today, really nothing other than those election results, right? Or not the election, but just going out for the election. So, as mentioned, Powell's going to be on the mic saying we're going a quarter point lower on Thursday, and that's really it for the news this week. Looking at just today's action for the Qs, we have 20,000 contracts actually over that. We have 22,614 contracts of open interest coming in for today's expiration at QQQ 487. We're trading 487.69 right now. So if you take off about 28 points from the Qs right now, that is really where we're at. So that's going to put it at 20,125 is really where you're going to be at. 20,125 is this level that we'll watch. And you can, as the markets both open up the Qs with some volume, and this we can get a little bit more of a pinpoint. But, right around that 20,125 level is this. So that's your, pivot point for today, if you will. As far as I'm concerned, there's really nothing else going on in the Qs. And to the upside, 490. So there's potential that we just kind of rotate around this 120 point range in the NQ, 120, 125 points right around there from 487 to 490. Looking at the SPY in the same way, we have 571 is what we're currently trading right now, and you can see that we could potentially go down to 568 and then up to 575, and then potentially if you get below 568, you could get a quick test of 565. We'll just have to see if anything else is going on. There's not a lot there that you can hang your head on other than that. And if we look at the cash market, which is the bigger market normally, there's nothing here, right, to hang your hat on. So this is not in control today. The cash market is not in control for the S&P 500. If we look, down here at where everyone is, the S&P closed yesterday, the cash market at 57.1269, where you're up 11. That would make it, let's just round it off, just under 57.25 is where we're at right now. So we're kind of between this, 5700, 5750, and that could be your bounds today. And this is looking at the sum of everything on the sheet right now as we, progress into our analysis. Again, we're up 10 points, this 57.53, and keep in mind that, that 57.25, which was the lows going back. So we've had 3 touches now, which I always say that, the third time is generally the charm. And actually, you have 4 touches at this point in time, right? On the session, you have uh, October 2nd, October 3rd, October 8th, and yesterday, November 4th. So we'll see what happens. Uh, Technically, what I'd like to see before I get it back on the mic again tomorrow, I'd like to see 5700 trade, and I'd like to see 5778 half trade. I like to see this lower area tested and this upper area tested. And we'll just have to see what order that may come into. It doesn't mean that I'm going to get what I wish for either. Uh, as we look here, we can see that we're uh, firmly holding so far and consolidating, but have gone nowhere. Right? It's a very uh, tight consolidation. So the way I always look at this is, one would think, you come down, you're consolidating, the next move should be back up. But keep in mind that this is an auction process. Uh, so if we don't reclaim above 20,251, you should get that test finally of 19,864, and then we'll see if that cracks or holds. And again, I think you should get. I mean, this is going to be a look below when we get this when we finally get below 57.25 in the ES. That's going to be a look below, and it'll either be a go or a fail. But my guess is it should last one session and not be quick. Although we've seen, especially 8 years ago, if you remember election night, as results come in and out, there was some violent swings. So I'd be very cautious trading in the middle of the night tonight. Remember, liquidity is thin, and you could get some major news, right, that people are going to be repositioning on. And if nothing else, the algos will just have a grand old party. So I would probably avoid any overnight trade below value. Very little of it was below value or a low. And if we look at all the indexes, the Russell is already eating into some of those signal prints as I speak. The ES is sitting here testing this 20,114 quarter level. That was kind of a split yesterday, above and below. Probably be a little bit of a split, but it's not like one of those that can't get trade back and forth. It's just I'd rather be trading above it, and trading below it, just for a run. And it's kind of a trail, right? You just, when it goes under it, you can just trail it down. When it goes above it, you can just trail it up, and when you get stopped out, you get stopped out. You don't need to try to catch or make it any more complicated than that. And then as we look at the ES and the Dow, it's the same thing. We're just sitting here stuck in neutral, right? What does that usually mean? The market's waiting on information. We know what information it's waiting on. So, will we get a little bit of volatility fun today? We'll have to see. But don't, it'll be shocking if we get anything trending. There are hedge funds out there, I'm sure, that will be taking exit polls. And keep in mind that the only state that even matters, in my opinion, today is Pennsylvania. Uh, that's going to be with a 94 to 96 probability of whoever gets that wins the election. That's really the only thing that matters at this point in time. So I hope this helps. I hope you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. If you do decide to trade overnight tonight, uh, good luck, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.